Hey everyone, it's Vinny from Real Dynasty, and with Derby Pool 2 wrapping up on November 27th, 2022, I'm here to talk about a few horses that were not a part of Derby Pool 2, but that I am keeping my eye on. Please note on this one that the Bob Baffert trainees are not included in this video. They will get their own separate video. But without further ado, here we go. Here's a few horses that I'm keeping my eye on that were not a part of Derby Pool 2. The first horse is Arrogance for Linda Rice, sired by Frosted, Dam Sire's Uncle Mo, and only has faced New York bred company so far, but has 2 wins in 3 starts, already has a stakes win. Linda Rice usually doesn't have major players on the Derby trail, but I have a feeling that this one is at least going to try some of these early preps and see how they're going to see how it goes. Has looked very impressive, especially last time out. Ran a 90 Equibase speed figure in the Sleepy Hollow Stakes, winning easily, which is a pretty high, not a super high number, but is a very good number for a 2-year-old in October. The next one on my list is Point Proven, sired by Gunrunner. Dam Sire is Bernardini, owned by Rapoli and St. Elias Stables, and trained by none other than Todd Pletcher. Didn't really look like much of a runner in the first 2 starts. Seemed to put all the pieces together last time out, though. Broke his maiden going 1 1/8 at Churchill Downs, which is a good sign, getting a race over that track as a 2-year-old. One to keep your eye on. I know Pletcher usually has a bunch that end up being on the in the Derby pools. This one might be flying under the radar with 2 early career losses, but definitely worth a look after last effort. The third horse is Determinedly, sired by Cairo Prince for trainer Mark Cassie. This one, as a 2-year-old, has already run 6 times, which is a lot, but it is Mark Cassie, so not too concerned about that. 3 of his career starts that were on the turf, so kind of just drawing a line through those, even though they weren't terrible efforts. But his last 2 races have been on dirt, and he's really improved. He actually finished second 2 back to one of the Bob Baffert trainees that I'll talk about in another video, Arabian Night. But he did just come back out of that race where he finished second to Arabian Night to win by over 7 lengths. So one to keep an eye out on. Mark Cassie generally has a couple that end up at like Tampa Bay Downs early on in the year. So Determinedly is another one, was not a part of Derby Pool 2 that I'll be keeping an eye on. The next one I have on my list here is Index Fund for trainer Chad Brown, owned by Kalleward, sired by Good Magic. He finished second on debut. He finished second actually to a horse named Litigate, who was on Derby Pool 2 for trainer Todd Pletcher. But this horse did all the dirty work if you go back and watch that replay. Dueled up front, put away multiple horses, and got caught in the late stages. I think this one has a future, even though he didn't win on debut. Chad's been doing very good on the New York circuit in recent years with getting Derby runners. So would not be surprised if we see Index Fund run in a couple of these Derby preps in 2023. And the last horse today that I'm gonna bring up that was not a part of Derby Pool 2 actually won on Saturday, the 27th of November, for Steve Asmussen, Gunrunner sired Gun Pilot. This horse looked very impressive in his 7 furlong debut at Churchill Downs. Won easily. Gunrunner's just having an unbelievable freshman year. He's definitely one to keep an eye on. I have a feeling there's going to be more than one Gunrunner that ends up in the starting gate for the Derby. Probably not a bad bet in the Sires pool either to take Gunrunner. They all seem to be firing. So with that, there's a few horses that I am keeping an eye on that were not a part of Derby Pool 2. Stay tuned for my next video on the Bob Baffert trainees that obviously are not a part of Derby Pool 2, but will definitely make some noise on the Kentucky Derby Trail.
RacingDudes.com is your home for the best free picks for every race, every track across the country. We're ramping up for the 2023 Kentucky Derby, and we want you to join us in the fun. Subscribe to Racing Dudes YouTube channel and click the notification bell so you never miss a single video. Want to make money betting horses? Bet with the Racing Dudes.